Oh man. Ugh.
Hello, sir.
Man, it has been a rough week. I mean, I've had
How
one.
rough is it?
uh, I, I've just had a lot of silly, this dumb things. An example. Okay, I had to call the doctor. All right, so I called the doctor office and I told the receptionist that I needed an appointment. So she
Okay.
said, how about 10 tomorrow? She said, and I'm thinking, really? I told her all I need is one. That's too many. But I mean, but I had a friend of mine don't judge me on this. He's had a hard time. Well, don't judge me. He's an arsonist. Okay. I mean, and being,
An arsonist.
yeah, I mean, and I feel bad for him
Okay.
because he has a hard time, meeting people, and
Okay.
so, but I had some good news. Yesterday he found a perfect match on Tinder, so I really feel good about that. I think that will turn out pretty well. But I mean, it's been a weird week, like
That ship will be on fire.
yeah, like for me, I look at myself and I try not to do any body shaming or anything, but you have those days, and so and I know it's TMI, but the other day I couldn't help it. I looked at my naked body in the mirror, and I know that's TMI, and you know what I realized at the time?
What did you realize at the time?
That I was going to get kicked out of IKEA, and and he's just but I had one more weird thing, and I know it's been a lot of stuff. I went to the zoo, and I hadn't been to the zoo for a long time, and I usually like to visit the reptile house. I hadn't been there for a long time,
Okay.
so I noticed the chameleon, and they're pretty neat creatures. They turn different, blend in
Yeah.
with everything. But he wasn't able to change colors, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. So I'm a compassionate kind of guy. You know that, Ricky, right? I mean, yeah. So luckily, I ran into the zoo's herpetologist, and I told him what was happening, and the guy said, "Yeah, it's really sad." He said it's unfortunate. He has a serious case of reptile dysfunction.
Is that all?
Yeah, I don't think I can handle anything else this week.
I think we should start the show.
Okay, if you want.
It's the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. Well,
I'm
that's that.
little discombobulated tonight.
Yeah, you got a little
A little Max Headroom room thing going on here.
Oh, Joey Ware, thank you for showing up.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah, we have the same birthday, both June the 1st, and his daughter is named Trinity as well. So we basically, we copied off of each other, which is cool.
That's
no,
cool.
He's a good guy. I miss seeing him. Yeah. So anyway, we tonight our main topic is going to be Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, I think it's Shang-Chi. Yeah. So it was it been out for a while, but it just recently, about a couple of weeks ago, came on Disney Plus.
Yes.
And so again, Mr. Ricky Pope here, he's, he has a little Max Headroom going on. So just bear with that side of it. And I'll try to. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you right now. Yeah, I can hear you good. Your golden tones. Yes. So anyway, we're going to, but we have some, I guess, some happenings of the week. Just a few things that we came across this past week that we find is interesting. You came up with some stuff too. You kind of looked up on the intranets and found some interesting information that's going on in geekdom.
Yeah, so a couple things going on. One, that I'm not sure I'm excited about or not.
Yeah.
Halo TV series
Really?
is confirmed and supposed to start streaming 2022. So that means it's for a while.
Yeah.
But what was a little odd,
Yeah.
this is in development for over 10 years.
Over
That's not a
development for
great
10 years.
step.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
not
good.
a great.
Yeah.
It, it'd be a TV show, it's
Yeah.
be.
I'm gonna
It's
try to translate for you because you're kind of breaking up on us. So it's okay.
okay.
I just want to know the audience know that we
Maybe
realize this is happening.
maybe I wonder if I could turn off my video. Does that help
Oh,
my audio?
I don't know. I mean, I dig the look, but
I mean, I'm not sure which is better.
I don't know.
So so it's going to be a TV series instead of
Yeah.
a movie, which is often not a great solution.
No.
Especially for something like this. Also, it's a video game based,
That's kind of a strike
which
against it.
has not been successful for the most part.
No.
Outside of Sonic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the biggest things on these, I don't know if anybody out there agrees with me, but some of the best, I mean, anytime the studios got involved with any video game concepts, it was terrible. But fans and there was a couple of fans have done a great job on just on indie budget or less than indie budget. They had from the Fallout game. They've had some really great stuff. And Rick,
Joey Ware realized who you are. And I didn't realize you were Joey Ware. Howdy, neighbor. We literally live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah. So he's having the same internet pain as you. So we have
so it's not just me.
No, it's like you guys pay too much for internet. I do too, to have this kind of stuff happen. I mean, I'm just saying it's ridiculous.
Completely
but yeah, I've seen Fallout, some fan shorts of Fallout, which is awesome and funny. They did a fan made short of Halo, which was awesome. Unfortunately, they need the fans. They need to see the talent. Like a lot of the fan made Star Wars little shorts they did. Like, remember back in the days, what was it, Troopers, which was hilarious to me. But what they need to do is say, hey, these people have talent. They have a passion for it. Let's bring them in and give them the money to do it.
It could be interesting.
Yeah.
So one other thing, well, I mean, Ghostbusters hit the top of the box office this weekend. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
$44 million opening weekend, which is pretty stinking good for post-COVID.
Post-COVID,
I think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
If it's a Marvel movie, they would have said that's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
Because it's Ghostbusters, that's a great showing.
Yeah, I agree.
And then
I haven't seen it yet, and I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters, and I've heard a lot of mainly good reviews. They talked about the current story of the generation doing really well. It kind of has a Stranger Things kind of feel. Of course, they have one of the actors from Stranger Things in there, but they talked about how they have how they have the new, but they're the old, they do a nod on too. They say there's enough as nostalgia, a nod for the original cast, and then you have something new in it. And I want to go see it. I just haven't been wanting to go to the movie theaters to see it for some reason. I
totally get it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
go ahead. But yeah,
Afterlife. Rotten Tomatoes is it only hit 63 on the tomato meter.
Yeah, I
So
know
the
the tomato.
critics are kind
Yeah,
of divided,
they are
but
divided.
the audience score is significantly high,
Well,
95%.
and I would love
So
to see the demographic of that. Wouldn't that be great to see what the demographic of the age is? Because
how
probably,
old they are,
yeah, because
yes.
if they're in our age range, I bet you that's the majority taking their kids, and stuff like that. Yeah, Paul Rudd, he is the sexiest man of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's hanging on my wall. But
Yeah,
has that guy? That
I'm
guy has,
excited to
yeah,
see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
yeah.
I
I
think
like to
it
see it
will be.
too.
I I have heard really good things. I run a couple of big groups, and I hear really good things and I hear really horrible things. And for
Yeah,
most part, I withhold my judgment till I've actually seen it. The other thing is Black Panther Wakanda Forever
yeah.
has suspended production,
Oh
which
yeah,
they did for Thanksgiving. That's not, looks
yeah,
like we're going to hold till after the first year.
yeah.
Because actress that plays Shuri, actress uh, Letitia Wright, I think I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Letitia Wright
Yeah, I think so.
had an accident on set doing a stunt, and apparently has fractured her shoulder. It was a lot worse than they thought it was. Like, she got a
Oh, really?
concussion. I guess they thought it was going to be pretty, it was
Yeah.
bad, but not too bad, and expected to start back up. But yeah, they're going to hold
Gonna have to take
production
a.
at least until after the first of the year now. So
Speaking of accidents in production, did Harrison Ford ever came out of the old folk home to continue to do Indiana Jones? Because last time I heard, he was on a hiatus because he got in a
uh,
pretend fight and he actually got hurt or something like that. And
I don't
I
know.
mean, I
I
love
haven't
Harrison
looked up.
Ford, but I mean, to a point, you got to hang the hat, buddy. I mean,
Yeah, I have
or the
not heard.
Walker, one of the two.
I have not seen any
Yeah,
recent information. I mean, it's still slated for 2023.
yeah. I don't see how they're going to
Uh,
make it. I don't know how they're going to make that production between COVID and
I mean,
him, because this is like the second time he's gotten injured on this production. So
yeah,
I don't know.
and it doesn't even have a name yet. It's still
Yeah,
Indiana Jones 5.
Indiana
You know?
Jones and the Walker of Doom.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I like Harrison Ford. Just anyway,
Yeah.
of course, we know that. Well, it was this Thanksgiving, so it was last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it talking about Hawkeye that came out? It came out
Hawkeye
around like,
came out day
was it
before Thanksgiving.
the day before Thanksgiving,
Before
and it
Thanksgiving.
started off with a season with actually 2 episodes, and then of
Yes.
course, we just had an episode. I guess it started
So
this
episode
evening.
3 was
Yeah.
no. Yes. Wednesday.
Hmm?
Hawkeye's coming out on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's Wednesdays. So, oh, I'm sorry. We used to be on Wednesdays. That's why I'm confused. Yeah, we used to be on Wednesdays, so that's why
My friend, Friday.
yeah, it's Friday.
That's
That's
tomorrow
right.
off.
Thank goodness. I don't have to go to work early in the morning. But yeah, but it was interesting. There was an article interviewing Jeremy Renner, who basically said he would like to see Hawkeye to lead the Avengers, or at least I would assuming the West Coast Avengers, just like the comic book, and of course, or the accumulation of the Young Avengers. And so far, what I've seen, I like it, and I think
That actually, what you just said would be
it
brilliant
would be brilliant.
to have Jeremy Renner kind of as the the Samuel L. Jackson
Yes,
of the Young
I
Avengers.
think that would be great.
That would be great. He could quote unquote retire
Yeah,
and help train, and not really go on missions, but kind of
yeah,
oversee the group and be kind of the father figure to this group of rowdy
yeah.
teenagers. That could be really good.
Well, it sounds like in the article, he said his biggest hope is that Hawkeye becomes the next leader of the Avengers. Renner cited Hawkeye's time leading the West Coast Avengers in the comics, which is interesting that he made that comment as a reason why he could step up with Tony Stark and Steve Rogers no longer around. Quote, yeah. I think where you mentioned the word like underutilized, because basically he says he'll look. Basically head of the West Coast Avengers, he made that comment. Reading through it, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but he's interested in doing so. That's the big thing.
Yeah, and the character's been an Avenger,
yeah,
for almost as long as Avengers have existed.
Yeah,
it's like issue 16 of the Avengers.
Yeah,
is where Hawkeye became an Avenger, and like you said, he led the West Coast Avengers in the comics.
Yeah.
So it really fits into the comic side.
Yeah.
And with the way, with the way the MCU plays around with, which we'll get here when we talk Shang-Chi, the way they play around with backstories and the way they change how things work, it wouldn't be a stretch to have Jeremy Renner be one of the leaders of the Avengers. Or, I don't like this idea. I'll throw an idea out.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's her plays in Marvel? I can't think of her name right now. But she has made statements of wanting to be the leader of the Avengers.
Okay, you broke up a little bit. Are you talking about Brie?
Yes, Brie Larson.
Oh, okay.
Brie Larson.
No.
Brie Larson has said
I was hoping that it was a mistake. It was a blip from the internet that you were saying on that.
She has said that she would like to be the leader of the Avengers. Yeah. So how fun would it be to see her and Hawk get into a battle of who's in charge?
I think mostly what would happen, you would have you have the movie universe, and then you have the actual Disney Plus TV series universe, which is the same in the sense, but two different castings,
And I could see the Young Avengers working well as a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, I can.
And having Jeremy Renner be the guy who runs the show.
And that's really what I'm thinking of now. And the whole Captain Marvel thing, even though I think it would be a bad idea. I mean, I just, it has nothing to do with gender or anything. I'm just not a fan of her version of Captain Marvel. Now,
the way they have that character written, I don't know. I don't know if it's Brie Larson or if it's.
It was Scarlett Johansson,
wooden character.
Yeah, I mean, if Scarlett Johansson's, Black Widow wasn't, Natasha wasn't killed, and her character was still alive, then I would totally let her be the.
Yep.
I would totally be behind that. So
put Natasha in charge. That would be a great.
Well, and actually, answer. And she was kind of that way after the blip. Remember, she was kind of the one holding it together, because Steve Rogers was like, okay, I don't have the will to do this right now. So So anyway, it has to do with the character and the actor. And I love Natasha. I love how Scarlett Johansson made that.
Yes, Joey. Where
I'm
Black
sorry, man. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's do this again. Let's. Okay, we just wanted to make sure we didn't want anybody
who haven't seen a movie that's been out for 5 years.
Yeah,
when did Endgame even come out?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad now. I mean, all 5 people now on the intranets. Actually, that's 5 people that's watching us. I didn't even count it.
Oh, you know what? Endgame actually feels like it was. It feels like it was so long. Okay, I guess COVID has made things feel like forever ago.
Yeah,
it was just 2 years ago.
I know.
It was just 2019.
I was looking 2019. 2019. Oh, that was the good old days.
I was thinking that was
good old days.
5 years ago. It was only 2 years ago.
That was the good old days when you went to Halloween trick or treat at was happened only one time a year. It wasn't
Oh
every
my
day.
goodness.
Oh
That's
man.
easy.
Yeah. So uh yeah, so I can totally see that. I'm a little concerned about the whole She-Hulk series. I saw some of that stuff on Disney Plus day or whatever they want to call that, which
Yes.
wasn't much of anything, but hopefully
Yeah.
they have better CGI or whatever.
Yes.
They need to do something.
You put you tag right there.
Yeah.
We don't get to see a full CGI of the She-Hulk
Yeah,
in
exactly.
her all hulked out glory,
Yeah.
but the part we do see little game-ish.
Yeah,
Hope it's not the CGI.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of the early hokey days of Marvel Television with the
Yeah.
Spider-Man with the stocking cap outfit.
And there's a
You know.
shot of Bruce Banner's um uh, uh Professor Hulk in
Yeah,
one of the
exactly.
in that little
Yeah.
segment, and he doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
He doesn't look.
No.
I think maybe they didn't give us a full version.
Probably not. Probably
I
not.
hope that's the case.
Other on the happenings of the week, of course, it's now confirmed the book of Boba Fett will be December the 29th.
Yes.
They have, of course, this is the new one of the new posters that came out just to just to advertise Boba Fett, which I look forward to, and we will do a play by play every week of the book of Boba Fett. So
Yes.
join us every week.
And
We're
we're going to
gonna
watch every episode, and we're going to talk about it the following Friday. So just, I mean,
yeah.
is that it? Following the next?
I believe so. It comes out Wednesday. We'll talk about the following Friday.
Yep.
And so be prepared because we can't, there'll be some
We will give
spoilers.
spoiler.
But we like for you to watch it before Friday if you can, then join the show and let's talk about it. Let's have a good time about it.
Yep.
So
Send your
yeah,
comments in and let us know how wrong we are.
yes, that's mainly the most of the comments we do get.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't. That's right. Do we want to do some stupid news?
let's do stupid news. I'm talking really.
That's okay. I know it's the medication. It's all right.
It's the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Well, I know the legal system is expensive and it's hard to come up with money, but some people just come up with a dumb way to raise money for their criminal defense. Apparently, a Florida woman, speaking of that, a Florida woman was arrested Saturday on felony charges, on narcotic charges. She told the police that she was selling fentanyl to make money to pay for an attorney for a pending drug charge.
Wait, what?
Yes. She was selling drugs. Yes, go ahead. I'll let you break it down.
Her felony charge
now
is for selling fentanyl.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Because she was trying to raise money.
Yes.
For her attorney to defend her.
Yes, from a previous case. You're catching it. It's kind of the circle of life that's going on right here. Yes. The defendant did intend to sell, and she says the substance, and it was to be able to pay for her current trial that she was for a previous drug bust. So right now she's bonded in jail. Right now she's for $18,000. So she was found possession of narcotics, including meth, morphine, and Oxycontin. So there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Well, a woman got to make a living. I mean, at least, especially if you're going to be in the legal system. So
gotta do what you got to do, I guess.
This other one, man, goes all the way over to China. Basically, Chinese man tries to remove hemorrhoids with a sword.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Doctors, basically, doctors, especially proctologists, they go to school for a really long time because there's a skill. This is because the
Yeah.
practice of medicine, well, it's not always an exact science, but it's pretty flipping hard. I mean, I didn't go to medical school, but Yan Wu of China, well, he's not a proctologist. And as recently he found out, we felt like he was dealing with a bad case of the old hemorrhoids and was just about to have his wits end. Get it? Uh,
Oh.
or some kind of end. Anyway, in desperate attempt to relieve himself, he went ahead and took a medieval style miniature sword and crammed it up his rear in an attempt to cut the hemorrhoids out. Of course,
That
it
is
did.
insane.
Yeah, it didn't end well for him on that. Literally, he called. Basically, Wu called in sick to work that particular day, saying, "I can't come into
Think.
work." He said he came into work. He said, "I have a sword stuck in my bum," and his employer called for the ambulance, and they rushed him, Wu, in a foot long. It's a foot long sword that was up his bum, to the hospital, as if people needed a reason not to cram a sword in their butt. But anyhow, allowed the media into the emergency room, which I thought was interesting, to warn others not to put swords up your butt. It was a public
Now,
service announcement that he did.
now,
Yes.
my wife in the previous life was
Yes.
an X-ray tech,
Yes.
and on occasion they had
Yes,
to
sir.
X-ray people who had things up their bum.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and often the defense was, I fell off of something and
Yeah.
landed on something.
There's basically
But
landed on there.
this
Yeah.
guy, he was trying to cut out his hemorrhoids.
Yes.
He didn't just accidentally
No, this was, yeah.
fall on his sword.
Unfortunately for
So to
Wu.
speak.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Wu, the doctor informed me he never had hemorrhoids to begin with. Yes.
Okay.
And
Do I
finally,
want to know what he had, or just
no,
that
I don't
not
have any
discussed?
more information than that, but
Okay,
I
I'm
figured
so
I don't think
glad.
we want to know anything else. Speaking of Florida, we have another Florida woman. She was arrested earlier this month for allegedly attacking her gassy husband who couldn't stop farting in bed. Don Mickle.
Attacking.
Yes, Don Mickle, 55, faces a misdemeanor battery charges after kicking and elbowing her husband as he left off a symphony of flatulence, according to the First Coast News. The feud started with Mickle began elbowing her husband on the arm, and to make him stop the dispute, she warned her husband, continued to warn her husband, and he continued to toot his horn. Don began kicking him and eventually kicked him out of their bed, according to the offbeat news source. Once her husband returned to bed, he left another rip between the sheets, resulting in another round of furious elbows and kicks. By the time the police arrived, Mickle's lip was split while she was being restrained by her husband, according to police. Mickle's husband severed several scratches across his chest, resulting in a torn shirt. Mickle told the police that she started attacking her husband after she pleaded with him for hours to stop farting in their bed. Now that's a warning to all of us husbands that I didn't know the police would get involved in something like that. But there's a point where you just have to know you got to stop. And speaking of stopping, that was stupid news.
Oh my goodness. This has been the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Yeah, don't ever put a sword up your bum. You know, Highlander? Remember that movie with the sword and Highlander?
There can be only one.
Yeah, there's a Chinese version of that where the guy sticks it up his bum. Anyway, I don't know if I can say that anymore. I don't know. Let's go to the next one.
Oh my goodness. What are we talking about tonight?
That's right. Shang-Chi,
Shang-Chi.
yes, the Legend of the Ten Rings came out a couple of weeks ago on Disney Plus. Of course, it originally came out on theaters only, and I guess after 45 days, Disney Plus put it on the stream, which I'm thankful for. But we've seen it, and now we're going to talk about it. And what do you think about it? What did you think about the which overall impression?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I was getting mixed reviews from individuals in some of the
Yeah,
groups that I help support. Um, a lot of people. I think a lot of people did it. I think that's the key. A lot of people didn't get what it was supposed to be.
they didn't get it. They did not. I was gonna just one more time. I didn't catch that part. They didn't get what it
Um,
was supposed to be.
yeah, they didn't get what it was
Okay.
supposed to be.
Okay.
They were expecting high drama, end game kind of content,
Oh no.
and what they got was a Thor Ragnarok
Yeah,
comedy.
a little bit of levity in there.
Yeah, which
I think it worked out well.
Here's my take on it. It is by far not the best Marvel movie ever. By far, it is not the worst
Yeah,
ever.
I agree with that.
It is
Yeah.
a baseline
Mm-hmm.
playing Marvel movie.
Yeah.
What it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I think it was I enjoyed it. It's definitely one of those movies that you definitely can watch with your family. It had humor in it, and it brought in people that uh, people I've forgotten about. Which is like which stinking hilarious. Let me see my notes here real quick. I was going to open them up. There we go. Yeah, I mean, they brought back, and one of the funniest things for me, I love it how they brought back just small cameos, like they brought
Yeah.
back Kev from from
Yes.
from Spider-Man Away from Home, Far From Home, and it isn't it. And I love how they do some of that. And one of my favorites, they brought the actual Mandarin from Iron Man
Yes.
3, which I love
Oh
this
my goodness.
actor.
Ben Kingsley is one of my all-time favorite actors ever. He does a great job.
Oh, he does a great role. I mean, when you first watched Iron Man 3, you got the Mandarin, you thought to yourself, man, this is a bad dude. Then you find out it's a British actor.
Yes.
And it was just
I was so disappointed with that Mandarin too. Ben Kingsley was great in the part. Yeah. But I was so disappointed that we didn't get a real Mandarin.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love, my favorite part about this, it ties in. They actually kind of bring it in a full circle in this movie, where his father, and let me see if I can pronounce his father's name. I believe this is how do you pronounce his name? Well, I can't remember.
Which one? Are you talking about
Shang-Chi's father?
Wenwu.
Wenwu. I love how Wenwu basically has him imprisoned because how he's mocked the Mandarin name, and I thought that was freaking hilarious. How how Trevor Slattery, who played acted as the Mandarin, he's in prison because how he's made a mockery of the actual Mandarin name, which is actually, when Wu is supposed to be the Mandarin, he's supposed to be, and he's gone by all these different names, which I think is interesting. I guess he was supposed to be the Warrior King, Master Khan, which I think is Genghis Khan. I don't know if that's what they're referring to or not.
Well, so let's talk about this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
I'm gonna get ahead of myself.
Our Mandarin. Yeah, this is our Mandarin. And in the comics, we have a different Mandarin. And I was disappointed with the slattery fake Mandarin back in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, exactly.
We finally get a real Mandarin, but it is such a different backstory.
Yeah, it is.
Not even really the same Mandarin.
No.
In the comics, the Mandarin is a descendant of Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
He's probably born in the 40s, give or take.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe the 30s. It kind of depends on how you calculate things. But he's just a normal human being. He has rings that he got from an alien spacecraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? And all the rings give him different special powers. Each ring is different. So then this Mandarin, the Khan, the warrior, I don't remember what it said. Master Khan, is that the word?
Oh, they call him Master Khan, and then the
Master
great
Khan.
The great warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, the great warrior. So that seems to hint that he was Genghis Khan.
Yeah, that's what
not that he descended from Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
So now we have a character that's 1,000 years old or more.
Exactly.
He was Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
And then our rings are different. Which
exactly.
I get why they did what they did from a storytelling perspective and a movie perspective. You know, it's a whole lot easier to have a set of rings that kind of have one power.
Yeah.
Than to have a set of rings that every single ring has a different power. When we just had, the Infinity Stones, and each Infinity Stone had its own special power.
Yeah.
So I get why they did what they did. It wasn't what I was hoping for, but I think it makes sense in the MCU grand scheme of things.
I agree with that. One thing, at first when we talked about this movie coming up, and it was probably about a couple of months ago, I don't think you and me were talking about how we didn't think it was going to be within the MCU universe. It may be just something else. It'd be more closer to the comics, where it's more mystical and more kind of a crouching tiger kind of thing going on.
We weren't really sure how this was
for sure. Yeah.
I think I always thought it would be in the Marvel universe. I just never was sure how they were going to tie it together.
And I think well,
go ahead.
I was just saying, it actually was a lot closer than I thought it would be, because they mentioned the blip, several times in it.
And then, you talked about cameos, another cameo.
Yeah.
And this goes all the way back to what technically is first. Did the Incredible Hulk come before Iron Man 1?
Yes. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So making a callback all the way to the very first MCU movie that tons of people don't think of as the first MCU.
Yeah,
the Incredible Hulk, we get Abomination.
Yeah, exactly. Up. Yeah.
So, and then, to tie it in more, one of your new favorite characters, Wong, shows up.
I love Wong. Yes.
And this fight here is hysterical.
Well, you can tell they're friends because he ends up saying, "You need to train more," and he does his little mystic thing, and they go back through the portal, and it makes me wonder. Here's this guy who was the arch enemy of the Hulk. They had a fight with each other, and now you see him in the ring with Wong, and after they're done, they leave as if they've known each other for years. So
the other thing I love about this is Wong in in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah,
he's like the straight-laced, don't mess this up. You can't.
I know.
Don't learn. You're not supposed to, protector of the sanctum kind of guy. But then at night he goes.
It's a karaoke machine.
He goes out and does karaoke and Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club and karaoke, which was hilarious. That the scene where they're singing the karaoke, Hotel
That's
California, which was I think it was the biggest song that came out of the whole thing.
yeah,
The,
that was so funny.
I really,
Speaking of music, I really enjoy the soundtrack for
oh
this movie.
yeah, they put a lot of work in this.
It wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah,
I was expecting more of a more Asian feel, or more of the big cinematic movie thing like we
yeah,
usually get.
exactly. Yeah,
But instead, we kind of get a modern day mixtape. You
yeah,
know,
exactly,
some
exactly.
rap and some pop, some some interesting flavors. But it fit really well with what the film was.
It's interesting to me because we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but which
I
is
know.
fine. Which is fine with me. There's a couple of things. Because there's so much in this movie and the Easter eggs and stuff like that, which I saw
Oh
throughout
yeah,
the whole thing. It's like, the logo of the 10 rings, which you think
yeah,
about referring back to the terrorists back in Iron
right,
Man that captured Tony Stark, which started the whole, the first Iron Man outfit, made from the
yeah.
cave, basically, which that's, you see that banner in the movie, but also, within the Fight Club, and of course, in the Fight Club, you have, actually, who owns that Fight Club is actually the sister,
Yes,
Shang, and the daughter of uh, Wu
Win
Win.
Woo.
Win Wu. So, which is interesting. It's and what's interesting to me about it, there's a reference to Madapur, in there. There's a flag
Oh,
in
was
one.
there? I
Yes,
didn't catch that.
yes, there was a reference to that. Let me see here. In this, is that it right there? Let me take a shot at that. There is and it's not a very good shot, probably. Now she is actually with. She came out from the recent Black Widow movie. She was one of the Black Widows, and
Oh yeah.
she was in a cage match with someone else. But yes, there is somewhere in the background, because I was reading this on ING, and you have to look really careful, but it makes reference to um, reference the metaphor. Am I saying that right? It's
Manipur,
yeah, it's close enough. Which Sharon
Madripoor. That's
Manticore, which Sharon Carter is, a really has built an empire there, which we've
yes.
seen on,
No, she's the power broker.
yeah, she's the power broker, and so it kind of makes me wonder how that all plays out. I mean, you have these two women that um, kind of both from these. I think they're both kind of Asian areas, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. And so, interesting if these two will kind of cross paths or not. But
I can see it happen.
yeah,
And we also have, Val as this weird, hard, female, power hungry person.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
Weird. There could be some weird connections there at some
yeah.
point. So, Joey asked, "What time do you think this took place?" Everybody is saying based on
Uh
this
oh.
happened.
I might need you to repeat that.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah, you're back with us.
Okay. Based on what I have read, this is presumably right after the back,
Yeah,
shortly after. So happening at the same time as other movies are actually happening. Um,
yeah. This because you see at the end of the movie, they're actually David Banner is back in his human form. And of course, that's
yes,
a spoiler alert. At the very end, you see there's a hologram which Wong and you
Bruce.
know
By the way, It's Bruce Banner. Your ages show.
What's that?
You
What
said
just?
David Banner.
Oh, I just
Who is the Hulk
I'm showing
from
my
the
age.
1980
I'm showing
from the
my
19
age. Oh
is it the
wow.
80s or the
It
70s?
was the 70s.
From
That's
the
how bad. The late
old
70s. Oh man,
from
David
the
Banner.
old yeah, because they changed
Oh
his name
no.
for some reason
Yeah,
because they decided Bruce wasn't a good name. I don't understand why they did that in the
I understand
70s.
either.
But yes, yes. So we get a Bruce Banner that has already, which now okay. Joey brings up an interesting question.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it, but this question comes to my mind.
Yeah.
The She-Hulk trailer
Mm-hmm.
shows a Professor Hulk and a Bruce Banner.
I wonder if they split.
So do we have split? Do we have to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or has he figured out how to completely split and change at will?
Yeah. How? Yeah. Professor Hulk is basically a controlled Hulk with
Yep.
a high IQ, and so Banner in human form, when he needs to use his Hulk strength, he's still in control. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I don't.
am going out on a limb and saying they're going to say at some point in the near future he has control and he can
Yeah.
switch back and forth. And then at some point, my guess is he will lose control
Yeah.
and we will have some kind of rampaging Hulk again temporarily.
Now you notice in Shang-Chi, Bruce Banner at the very end when they're having, they're the kind of a hollow communication, talking with
Yep.
Wong and Shang-Chi, talking about, you're welcome to the band, basically you've been initiated to the world of craziness. But you notice with, with Captain Marvel, his hand is in a sling.
Yes.
And
So he has the injury even when he goes back to his not Hulk form.
Exactly. So and of course that goes back to the Infinity, which I the continuity there is appreciated.
Whoever the person has done really, really well
Yeah.
in this movie because everything kind of fits together.
Yeah.
And then there's some, there's some Easter weirdness.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's, the questions that us nerds want to know, what's the deal with Bruce Banner?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he Professor Hulk in one show and Bruce in another show? And it's not clear what's going on there. So Joey, I don't know.
Good question though.
I do know
Good
this.
question.
Based on the timeline, it looks like this happened before No Way Home.
Yeah.
Probably happened during Far From Home.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That's the best guess I have.
Yeah, exactly.
So post blip, but early.
Well, I had a lot of kind of backing up and kind of going through the film. They had, I really love the art style. They really had it. The
choreography was really great.
It had this, kind of this crouching tiger, hidden dragon, kind of look to it. And I really liked it. It was cinematically, it was a beautiful film.
Yes.
And it's just the colors and the wardrobe. Especially when you get into the magical world. Is it Talu?
Talo.
Yeah. So, and the creatures there, it was pretty awesome. The creatures they had, of course, the dragon who is the protector, know. Oh, Maurice, there's Maurice.
Maurice, the chicken thing.
Yeah, which I'm surprised is not the hot toy. Which I'm surprised is not the biggest hot toy this year for Christmas.
Is it just me, or does it look like
it just
furry bear?
Well, you don't know
with wings. I don't know what that is.
Well, it's like it has no butt. You don't know what end.
It has no face.
Has no face, has no butt, which I guess
It's
is
like the
easy for.
middle.
Yes, exactly. I'm not for sure.
It's
I
like they
mean,
took a Care Bear and took off the head.
you had
And
these. You had, of course, you had.
you got the Pokemon.
Yes, the Pokemons. You had that, which you get a feel for what they are. You had
Yeah.
the of course, you had the lions. Which
Yeah.
were really cool. So anyway,
So
but yeah,
since we're talking about the beasts here,
yes,
I want to bring up something. I I was a little disappointed in some of the CGI of this film.
yeah.
Some of it was absolutely amazing,
Is there
stunning stuff.
anything specifically when you think of the
There
CGI?
one specific scene that really took me out of the movie, and it's earlier on in the film, and it's
Yeah.
where there's a runaway Jeep, and Windu manages to
Oh.
safety, and nobody goes over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there's like it's like a downward shot, and you see Winwu, laying in the dirt,
Yeah.
and the Jeep going over the edge, and it's just bad.
It reminds me of the scene in sorry, Harrison Ford, I'm beating up on you, but it reminds me of the scene in the Kingdom Skull where they're in the car, they have all these ants and they
Yeah,
go off the cliff, and it's such a hokey, and at the same time the CGI, it just doesn't look real. I mean, it just
yeah.
like you
It
drop
honestly, it would have been better if they had just cut
and not even go that direct.
and
Yeah,
not shown it.
not
Yeah,
showing it.
just cut and shown him, on the ground,
Yeah,
and not shown the Jeep plumb to its death. It pulled me out of the scene, and there were a couple of the animals that were a little like that for me. There were the horses, the ones that were kind of iridescent pink.
yeah,
I thought they stood out from the scene a little too much. The white ones with the big bird tails, they seem to
hmm
fit really well. Morris, amazingly, seemed to fit really well, as weird as
yeah,
he was.
exactly.
The lions, like you said, the lions, for the most part, I think the lions really seem to meld into the world.
I think so too.
But those pink, weird, iridescent horses
No.
things did.
What do you think about their interpretation of the
Joey says they spent too much on the CGI drone.
complete with a Game of Thrones? That's funny. That's funny.
That's
What do you
funny.
think about their interpretation of the dweller in the darkness, the soul eater? The whole
I don't know much about the backstory there. I From some things I just saw today, I think we're going to see more of this monster stuff kind of in the Marvel universe.
more of a bigger monster presence of some kind like that.
Yes, more kaiju kind of
Yeah, kind of
Marvel-y stuff on.
head of
Uh,
has his dominions of whatever these birds were that was sucking the
was
souls out of. Yeah,
not to take us too far afield, but
yeah,
there's there's images of a new Lego that's labeled as Doctor in the Multiverse Madness,
yeah. I
and they
missed you
basically
there.
have. Did you lose me?
Yeah, I'm losing you. You just
Okay.
kind of, yeah.
Am I back now?
You're back. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a Lego that was some
A Lego.
photo released,
Okay.
and it Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Universe of Madness.
And there's a character that is kind of the main bulk of it, and it's kind of a beholder kind of creature.
Oh yeah.
Basically a big eyeball with tentacles. It's a tentacle monster.
Oh okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
Like Suicide Squad.
it,
Never mind.
Yeah,
Uh,
kind of.
yeah.
So, I mean, if that's where that's going, and and this movie has this monster, I'm wondering if we're going to see some more interdimensional beasts as the big bads for a while.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure that's where we're going, but
yeah.
it kind of feels that way right now.
Now, of course, at the end, when Shang-Chi and his friend, which I'm Katie,
Katie,
they're
Aquafina did a great job, by the way.
I loved it. Yeah,
I was not hopeful.
yeah,
I've seen her in other films, and she's a great actress. I just wasn't sure how well she was going to fit into the Marvel universe.
kind of a Darcy,
But yes, she is kind of the
kind of
Darcy
the Darcy
of
in
this
the
film.
movie. Yeah,
She fit well. She played her
yeah,
character well. She was definitely there to go, what just happened? And for people to
exactly.
explain things to
Yeah.
her. What's this?
Hey, Adria, how you doing?
Adria says, I like Michelle Ye. She several things I like. Oh, the
Oh
aunt.
yeah.
The aunt.
Oh,
She's
Aunt
going to
Nancy.
be
Yeah.
Boba Fett's general. Oh, really? I did not
Oh,
realize that.
awesome. I didn't know that either.
She did a great job in the film.
Yeah.
Yes,
Isn't
I
it great
agree.
how Disney will put the I love it how they Marvel and Star Wars they interchange the characters. And
Yes,
so far I haven't and so far it hasn't been bad. I mean, I haven't
no.
found they fit different characters. You don't remember
Yep.
them as yeah, it's really
You
good.
don't. They fit into the new world, and you don't feel like they just stuffed this person
I was like
into it.
Finnick, and I can't remember her name. She's
Fennec
awesome. She
Shand. Yes,
Nick Shan, but the actual actress who played in the Agent of
I can't.
Shield,
Yeah, I
uh,
can't
yeah,
remember her name.
she's awesome.
Um,
Um,
so you, so speaking of the ant, and we kind of talked about this a minute ago. You were talking about the art style and some of the fighting style. They
yeah,
looked really cool. One of the things I thought was kind of nice in this film is they showed two distinctly different kinds of
yeah,
fighting styles.
they did. Yeah,
There was a very aggressive father style, and then there was this very fluid and
yeah.
lovely mother style. Um, and I thought it was a nice dichotomy that they built.
Which I thought was interesting too, because if you look at it, the graceful, I don't want to you want to graceful flowing was actually uh, more powerful than the
Yes.
more aggressive, even with the 10 rings.
Yes.
As we've seen in the when they first meet um, the basically mother and father meeting for the first time. I, I saw in one of your notes you had a question mark about Sean and his sister, whether they may be.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay. So
yeah, go ahead.
so this is one of the I have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
This movie did not answer a lot of questions.
yeah,
It created a lot of
a lot of
questions for me.
questions. Yeah,
So, father has lived over 1,000 years.
yeah,
So, why did he live 1,000 years? Is it because of who he is, or is it because of the rings?
yeah.
That's number
That's
one.
yeah,
Number two is if he lived 1,000 years and it's because of who he is, did his kids inherit that?
yeah, exactly.
Are they going to be long lived? And we could see them, you know, we could do a big time hop and do a whole future movie and have them as who they are still.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's the rings, if Shang-Chi continues to use the rings, will he have this longevity?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to play that out. My guess is they're going to completely ignore that, but it's an interesting question.
Well, his it's interesting. His sister takes an interesting turn at the very end. And where do you think
Yes.
that's going to go with that? Where do
I
you?
kind of like this.
I do too.
That at the very end, the second end credit scene,
Yeah.
we see her basically take the throne.
Yeah.
Which this is totally Book of Boba Fett kind of stuff right here.
Exactly.
She sits on her father's throne as the new head of the Ten Rings to carry on her father's legacy, which is everything she said she wanted earlier in the movie.
Exactly. Well,
all she ever wanted
yeah.
was her father to accept her and to let her be in charge of the organization.
Well, she wanted
And
to be,
now
yeah,
she is.
she wanted to be able to train with the other males. And as
Yes.
you can tell at the very end, she has, she has female and male,
Yes.
you know,
So
fighters in her
big
army.
question.
Yeah.
Big question. Is the Ten Rings now going to be a good group? Or are they going to continue to be this gangster semi-evil group? What do you think?
I think they're going to be murky. I think it will be a murky. I think it would be a very gray line. I
Yes,
think they would be
I'm with you.
assassins, continue to be assassins, but assassins of uh, maybe of the criminal underworld and those who are, um, I would say bad men, if you want to put it in simplicity like that.
You think
I,
power broker Carter is going to be selling uh, some high tech stuff to the Ten Rings?
I think, or they'll be in competition with one another.
That's what I
That's
want
what
to
I'm
see.
thinking.
Yes,
I think they'll be in competition.
I think that would be fun. That would be
I would
good.
love that. Yes. Yeah.
Kind of
Uh,
a spy versus spy, evil versus evil kind of thing.
yeah, it's almost, it's kind of reminds me of the League of Assassins from DC.
Yep.
I mean, you have that thing going on. The means to the end to them is the reasoning you can kind of understand, but the means of what they're wanting to do is wrong. But
Yeah.
and I think, oh my goodness, I think there would be
You lose your mic.
yeah, I lost my mic. Man, these RE20s are like so freaking heavy.
I know they're so heavy.
I can't find.
That's why mine is
I
like
gotta
on it.
go. I know. I gotta.
It's not even on an arm anymore. I
Yeah, I
just have it
can't.
on a little stand.
Yeah, I need to have. So, but yeah, I think there's going to be a conflict between the two.
Yep.
I think I think this is where the struggle's going to be between Shang and his sister Ailing. Uh, Mike lost himself. Yes, basically.
Yeah. How has her name pronounced?
Starts with an
Uh,
Xialing.
yeah. I had it.
Ailing. Anyway, I can't. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it.
Sheeling.
Sheeling.
She.
Sheeling.
XI is she.
Okay, she. Yeah, the brother and sister. I think that's where they're going to be a conflict. One, it's almost like they may both have the same agenda, but one is going assassin where the other one is not. There's that.
And then the other side of this is Shang-Chi, 2 going to be him and his sister in conflict.
I kind of have a feeling that might be the situation. But
I could see that. I could see that happening.
But at the very end, there's some kind of at the very end, and I'm not. What was it in here? It was a reference in one of the they were talking about, and you can help me on this. They were talking about
the scene with Wong, or are we talking
yeah,
about
but they talk about
else?
Chai, Khmer. I can't pronounce it, but anyway, it's Wong names this place, and I guess this is where there's supposed to be some type of frequency that comes in. Do you any thoughts about
that they felt with the rings that
yeah exactly.
I did research or follow
I
quite
did
what that was all about,
because what I'm trying to figure
sure.
out and this is great at the end when they're they're at the table and because
I love that Katie just there's no hiding what happened. She just explains everything like this is the most cool thing that ever in the world could happen.
Yeah, both of them is just sitting there and they're just telling a story. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and you have to understand the first meeting in the beginning of the movie, they're both valets, and they're sitting down, him and Katie, and and the couple they're with, their friend is kind of scolding them for not living their full potential and being a bunch of kids at valets, and of course here they are at the very end where they're telling these outrageous story, and their
Yeah.
friend, she feels like she's being mocked, and then all of a sudden here's this portal. Wong comes in. I need the two of you, and they go through the portal, say, hey, bye. Like it's a casual thing, like it's no big deal. They're leaving through the portal. Hey, good to see you, we'll catch up again, and they go through the portal.
That kind of thing right there really it fits this movie so
Yeah, it
well.
does.
and I think it's part of the reason some people don't like the movie. It's very trope.
Yeah. Well, I really love Thor. I love Thor and Ragnarok. I love that.
I know. It's one of those. This movie isn't a serious movie. This is a fun movie. And if you went into it thinking you were going to get deep theological meaning out of it, you were in the wrong theater.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually came up with a list of tropes that are really obvious in this film. And one you just mentioned, number one is I'm not who you think I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Not living up to your potential, a romance between enemies, brother-sister conflict, father-child conflict, the conflict that's basically just there to have things explained to them. The bad guy gets a last minute redemption arc and a heroic death. And then, the standard trope of, this is the bad guy. Oh no, wait, there's a bigger bad guy.
Exactly.
I mean, it's people complain that it's formulaic. It is. But the formula works and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Now we talk about the second movie, but I go back to this scene. What do you think? I mean, from this scene and the conversation they have, where do you think it's going to go? I mean, are they going to stick within this particular universe? Is it going to cross over to the whole multiverse? Because there's a lot of mystic stuff going on with Wong, and then of course Wong's relationship with Doctor Strange. Any thoughts?
So in this scene, Wong is examining the rings and he says beacon. It's called something.
A beacon, okay.
So the idea of a beacon is that it's there so that something else can find it.
Yeah.
What is the thing that's going to find it? Is that the next Shang-Chi movie, or is that a reference to the bigger Marvel universe? I think it's the bigger Marvel universe.
You think so?
I think so, because that tends to be what these in credit scenes are.
Yeah, you're referring to something else in another movie.
Usually if there's two, one is kind of humorous and has less meaning, and one is usually a bigger meaning for the entire universe of the MCU. And I think this one is a universe builder. I'm just not sure what it's building.
Yeah.
Did you read my notes? Do you
I'm actually
me to talk about my crazy notes?
No, I would love to, because I'm actually looking through them right now.
What would, without reading my notes, when you saw that it was a beacon, what was your first thought?
Well, my first thought when it was a beacon, I'm thinking, okay, for one, who put the beacon there? And what is the intentions of what's the intention of the beacon, and who is it reaching out to? Who's supposed to be hearing this beacon, come to this beacon? Because for me, I thought to myself, okay, who is this for? And, are we talking about preparing for an invasion? Are we looking for, Fury? Because how does this affect with Nick Fury? There's so many things involved in this, because this current universe that we're talking about, this MCU universe, it's right now, it's quote unquote presence in the phase 4. We're not quite over to the multiverse yet. We're past the blip. And so what's happening here and how is that going to affect it? Is this has anything to do with Nick Fury and of course the upcoming invasion series that he's going to do? I don't know. I mean, tell me what you think.
So I was thinking this a little bit. Things ran like number one, they're way than 1,000 years.
Yeah.
The rings are. So what does that mean? Well, it's a beacon calling out to somebody. So if it's calling out to somebody, you think this is my thought is,
yeah,
this is probably some reference to a big bad in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Who is that going to be? So, one of the things is, Galactus could be interesting.
Okay, yeah,
If we
exactly.
actually got a
Yeah,
real Galactus,
yeah,
could this be, some beacon that tells him this is a world worth eating?
yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's where we're going,
Yeah,
because we don't have the Fantastic Four yet, and I don't think
yeah.
that's a good fit. One of my other ideas, and I think this one really fits within the MCU. What if these rings belonged to some version of Kang the Conqueror, because
Oh, yeah.
he is a time traveler in the
Well,
comics? He's from the distant future, but he's
yeah.
been to the distant past.
I think this is all going to line
Kang
the
could be
yeah, the
could be
multiverse, I think the whole Doctor Strange multiverse is going to either, I'm going to say explain it all, but it's all going to tie into that somehow. Um I don't think do you think the movie's coming out, which by the way, No Way Home. Have you seen the whole scalpers are trying to sell tickets for $25,000?
I know, it's
Is that
ridiculous.
insane? That's
It's
insane.
ridiculous.
But anyway, and like I said, I'm curious, do you think Chang-Chi will have any type of tying in this, or just going to be totally glazed and
I
it's going to go into the multiverse? The
I
movie
think
next to that.
I think Shang-Chi will be a bit player
Yeah.
long term
Yeah.
in the greater of the universe.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a major player.
Yeah. I kind of, yeah.
I think he'll get a nice story arc along the way, and he'll get a couple of movies.
No, I agree with that. I
I
agree with
don't
that.
think he's going to the center of attention
I'm just
for
wondering how
the
much of
future.
like you said, usually in a Marvel movie, you get close to the end, and usually it's that last credit. I mean,
It's all going to be,
that
I
last
think it'll
post
all be
credit.
dependent on who that beacon is calling out to.
I agree.
How tied in is the beacon to Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another crazy, ridiculous theory.
Hit me with it,
That is
man. Hit me with
stupid.
it.
It's stupid, and I don't think it's real. Okay, so Joey says, was it only triggered because good use the rings based on color of the rings versus bad using the rings for 1,000 years? I don't know, Joey.
I don't know.
I think that's
I
is
mean,
an interesting question.
yeah.
Did the new wearer trigger something? I but
Yeah.
so alien technology. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
The rings are alien, presumably.
Yeah.
Older than years.
Yeah.
The Mandarin got a ring from alien technology.
Yes.
From a particular race that I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce.
Yeah.
Because I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
And that race happens race of giant dragon creatures.
Giant dragon creatures. I got that part. Okay.
Creatures. And one of the most famous of those creatures is a character named Fing Fang Foom.
Got you. Yeah. Fing Fang Foom.
So, beacon calling out Fing Fang Foom.
Well, that's interesting. That's all I have to say to that. That's interesting.
I know.
But
that's the most bizarre possible answer.
No, but I mean, at this point, I mean, like, Joey made a reference of who knows. I mean, all of it's plausible in the Marvel universe because we don't know. I mean, any of this could
honestly,
could
the Fing Fang Foom thing is my favorite just because of how convoluted it is.
Yeah, it's very convoluted, but that's funny.
I don't think that's where we're going.
No.
And I'm super disappointed that our first view of Fing Fang Foom was in a dream sequence in MODOK.
Please, MODOK. Oh man.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, I did watch all of it. I watched Hit Monkey, by the way. All of that.
How was Hit Monkey? I want to see a couple episodes. I haven't watched it yet.
I liked it. Now, the whole time Tiffany was looking at me going, this is the dumbest thing ever. Why are you watching this? Is a monkey. Yeah, it's a monkey assassinating bad people.
Yeah, so it was like anti-hero Hit Monkey.
Yeah, it's kind of an anti-hero Hit Monkey. I mean, eventually, and the guy who kind of guides him is kind of basically a dead guy. John Suzuko plays him, and
maybe we should watch all the show on it.
I watched all of it, and I'll watch it all again. You should watch it. I mean, it
better than MODOK.
Oh, better than MODOK. And it's just, to me, it's funny because you're going, really? With MODOK, it was like, okay, I'm waiting for the punchline. Okay. But this is not.
And for those who are not sure why Hit Monkey is even relevant to this conversation, Hit Monkey is a Marvel production.
Exactly. Sorry. Yeah. People going,
it's a Marvel. It's a cartoon Marvel production.
Yeah, what's in his
Hulu. So it's more adult oriented because it's on Hulu.
Yes, that's where Disney dumps their
that's where Disney dumps their content that's not quite as family friendly.
Yeah, Hit Monkey is like a definite Japanese kind of, it almost feels not quite anime, but the closest that I've seen a Disney animation becomes or Marvel animation.
Have you seen Invincible?
I have not on Prime.
Yeah, I just wondered if it had that same look.
No, it's not.
It's not. Look. Okay.
No. Yeah, it doesn't. It has more of a, I don't know. It reminds me. It almost has the comic book kind of art style in it. It's almost like, Adult Swim type of animation to it. But anyway,
is it humorous or is it just
there is humor in it, and there's some drama. I mean, it's a nice mix.
Okay.
It's just sometimes it's over the top, but because it's over the top, it makes you go, okay, I got to watch the next one. Even when you go.
So now what we need to see is a Spider-Ham, Howard the Duck, Hit Monkey crossover.
That would be awesome. They can be like, instead of
put it on Hulu. Put it on Hulu.
Instead of the X-Force, you can call it, I don't know, you can call it whatever, the M-Force or something. Yeah, exactly. Super Pets. Yeah, not for your children. Adults only viewing. Yeah, definitely. That's not something you want your
Marvel
kids.
Super Pets.
Yeah. Hit Monkey is not for the kids. It's not a lovable little monkey. No.
Oh my goodness. I will have to check that out. I have wanted to check it out. I just haven't had the time yet.
Like I said, you gotta you gotta take it for what it is. You kind of go, okay. But I don't know. I liked it. And George Takei is in it. So,
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he does the voice. Olivia Munn is in it. Jason Sudeikis, which, if you remember him, he hit Baby Yoda,
Yes.
So anyway, but anyhow, that's not what we're talking about. But anyhow,
sorry, we kind of veered off.
It's Marvel. It has a connection there or something like that.
Maybe it's the beacon is calling out to Hit Monkey.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would totally go see that.
Hit Monkey has to do a hit on the 10 Rings. There you go.
There you go.
Now that could happen. That could make sense.
I mean, I'm sorry, when you see Howard the Duck in, when you see Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy, anything can happen. I mean, and then he was in and of course he was also in What If, so.
Yeah. I now pronounce you Darcy.
Joey, where my younger son wants to check out Super Pets now. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, DC. Yeah.
Yep. Legion of Super Pets. It's a thing in DC. I don't know when it went out, but
also
the voice cast is going to be really good.
Yes, it is. And on another note, yeah, if you hadn't had a chance, there is a new trailer to this uh, to to Peacemaker. So there's a
Oh
new
my
trailer
goodness.
out there.
Yes,
So if
there
you're,
is.
yeah, so I just mentioned that in case you have
Mike and I
not
were
seen it.
seeing that
Yeah,
right the
yeah,
episode.
we just watched it
Definitely
before the
watch
show, and
an episode or two of Peacemaker. I
yeah,
I don't know. I'm still not quite sure that it's my thing,
yeah,
but I'm at least gonna give it an episode or two to try.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's yeah, I'm sure it's going to go along these type of Suicide Squad type of let's just say violence. You
Get
definitely, I don't think you want to.
Can I
Again, go ahead.
do trailer? And I have entirely too much of unseen it in his tidy whitey. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, basically. It's funny you were breaking up and I heard tidy whities, but I knew what you were talking about. I heard, well, tidy whities, but bleh, and I go, okay, I know what you're referring to, which is sad. Nobody else does. They're wondering why is he saying tidy whities, but hey, I got you.
I'm back. What I said was
Yeah,
two trailers, and I've seen entirely too much John
yeah,
Cena in his tidy
tidy
whities.
whities. Okay, that's clearer than before. That's nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
so bad. I hate my internet.
But I recommend the movie. Like I said, this is a great
I don't
movie.
recommend Cox Cable.
No, I don't recommend Cox Cable. Sorry. All of a sudden you get turned off. No,
It
no,
can't get much worse.
don't say it. I had to do a show solo one time when that happened. Don't be saying that.
I remember.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was.
I think it suddenly got good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's getting close to
Now that
the end. Now it's
yeah,
getting to the end. Oh, there you go. You caused it. But yeah, so now next week you may or may not be with us.
not sure. I have an
Okay.
event to go to, and it's a little earlier than the show, but I don't know that I'll be back in time.
Okay. Next week, I think we may dabble a little bit into Hawkeye, see how that going. I'll have a couple of other guest co-hosts. I mean, and Joey Ware, he likes the tidy whities, and why wouldn't you like the tidy whities? It's been good for our generation for years. Actually, I have wear my same tidy whities for years.
Oh,
Yeah,
Joey. Okay, so I just still think it's hysterical that I just put together that this is the same Joey Ware that lives in my neighborhood.
yeah,
I did not realize that it was you knew who he
yeah.
was. Like you know him.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the same guy that lived in
I
my
thought it was,
neighborhood.
yeah, it was cool.
That's so funny.
I
Thanks for
haven't. I
watching.
need. Yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll make sure.
Everybody, Adria and
Adria,
whoever else is
man,
watching
thank
us.
you. Yeah, maybe next time we can have him pipe up some better internet. But yeah, next week we're going to be on again. It'll be Friday night. It'd be 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Mr. Ricky may or may not be here, but I'll have some compadres here with us, trying to do their best to fill in for my good friend and
Based on my
my
internet, I may
soulmate.
or may not be here right now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's maybe not.
Moment to moment, I may or may not be here.
So we may be talking about some Hawkeye next week. We may be talking a little bit of some holiday goodness, some of the, favorite holiday movies, some of that. Who knows? But whatever we come up with, we'll have a great show next week, and so we may have some folks on. Todd V, who are Florida man, aka Florida man, he may be on with us next week. Our man who knows everything about everything, Mr. Daryl McCarty, may be joining with us next week. It just depends who I can pry out of the closet to join the show. So anyway, I don't have anything else. Do you, Mr. Oh, Joey? Thank you. I know, that's right. He is related to Daryl, Daryl McCarty. Yes, Adria. It's you're always welcome. Thank you. We appreciate that. I thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. We also have a YouTube page. Go there. We'll have a link there for you, and hit like, subscribe. We're on the YouTubes, of course. We're also on Twitch, which why I don't know, but we are. And of course, we have our biggest following on Facebook. All that good stuff. We'll see you next week, and hopefully, if you can come back with us, Ricky, because you are my soulmate. You light up my life. You give me hope.
This has been the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Shilley.
And the light of my life, Mr. Ricky Poe. You cut me off because of copyrights, or you just didn't like the "You light up my life, oh Ricky Poe"?
I'm sorry, my internet's breaking up. I can't hear you. I'm not. What did you say, Mike?